Hi there, thank you so much for joining me today. This video is my 9 by November update number 1. My introduction video went up on May 15th. I think this one is going up on June 14th, so it's been almost exactly a month. So the first two products I want to talk about are blushes. I decided to take the 6 oldest blushes in my collection and try to use each of them at least 25 times. And I'm only bringing in 2 at a time so that I'm not dealing with like 6 different blushes in my drawer. And the first two I started with were the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic Swish and Pop Blusher in the shade Love is the Drug, and also the Hourglass Incandescent Electra blush right here. This is kind of like a peachy one, and the Charlotte Tilbury one is a little bit more of like a pinky purple. Once I use one of them 25 times, I'll roll it out and bring in another one, and I decided last month to just focus on one, and I chose to focus on the Charlotte Tilbury one. So this one I've used 19 times. I haven't used the Hourglass one at all. Hopefully by next month I'll have used this 6 times and I can roll in another blush. And once I finish using this one 6 times, I'll move on to the Hourglass one. The next one is another Charlotte Tilbury product, but it's one that I'm not very good at panning. It's a lipstick. It's in the shade Bitch Perfect. I did look back into my uses, and I think I reached for this either 4 or 5 times in the past month. There is no change in weight, and also I don't think the before and after photos look that different either. I really don't have that much left. I do feel confident I can have this done within the next 6 months. I just need to remember to reach for it more. This is the perfect time of year to wear something like this, so I'm hoping I have better progress to share with you next month. How about some good news? I have a foundation here from e.l.f. It's the Flawless Finish Foundation in the shade Light Ivory. I imagine if I use this as regularly as I do now, I will be able to have this done within the next 2 months. Once I finish this foundation, I might consider rolling in another one. I don't know if I'd be able to finish another foundation before the end of the project, but maybe I could get some good progress on it. The next product is another one I feel like I'm doing well with, and that's the Body Shop Strawberry Body Mist. I would say that there's a good 1.5 inch distance between the 2 marks from last month and this month, and that's actually way better than I thought. Usually these take me much longer to go through. It really just is a matter of me remembering to put this on every day after I do my makeup, just putting a little bit on before I get ready for the day. I wasn't so sure in my introduction if I'd be able to have this finished by the end of the project, but considering how well I did in the past month, I feel a lot more confident that I can have this done. I think if I give this another maybe 3 or 4 months of consistent use, I can have this finished. Also, in my introduction, I tried to weigh this, but it exceeded the limit of my little pocket scale, so I couldn't weigh it. But I tried to weigh it again after a month of using it, and I was able to weigh it. It's currently 188.46 grams, probably heavy because of the glass packaging, which means from now on I can actually show you the weight that I was able to use up from this product every month. Another liquid product, this is the Pure Miracle Mist Hydrate and Set Setting Spray, and I have used probably, once again, another 1.5 inch of product. I do decant a little bit of it into a glass jar. This is the SW Basics Rose Water Facial Spray bottle. This is glass and the spray on is much better than the pure one. So I put a little bit into here and then I pour it back in before I measure, just so I make sure I'm accounting for all the product. This is my oldest setting spray. I think I purchased this at the tail end of 2016, and I did have it sealed up until probably the middle of 2018. So it's not like it's been open for 4 years, but it's definitely getting up there. It's one of my oldest setting sprays, so I'd like to finish it, and I feel very confident that I can do so because I wear setting spray every day. My next product is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Powder. I'm in the shade 1 Fair, and I was very surprised to see the before and after photos of 1 month's use. I really didn't think it would show that much of a difference, but the pan has definitely expanded. I've used just over 1 gram of product, and I think there is 8 grams of product in here. So I think maybe 2 or 3 more months of use and I can have this finished. I just use this to set the concealer on my under eyes. I don't use this all over my face. My next product is a bronzer from Pure Cosmetics. It's the Glow Together Gradient Matte Shimmer Bronzer. This was limited edition. I think I purchased this back in like 2016. The pan in the middle has definitely gotten bigger. In my intro, it was kind of like a double pan where there was a little stripe of product between the 2 holes in the product. And unfortunately, as I was using it and it got smaller and smaller, it did break apart and I did lose a little bit of product that I wasn't able to salvage. It wasn't too much, but I just wanted to point that out to be fully transparent. The product in the actual pan is very thin, and so I think there might be a point in time where I consider mixing this all up and repressing it just so it's a little bit easier to use. I'll try to be as careful as I can. Obviously, I don't want to waste any product, but it is one that provides a lot of kick up. It's a very messy bronzer, so even though it is quite big, I do think I'll be able to finish it up. at least within a couple months' time. My second to last product is from theBalms. It's the Mary Lou-Manizer Highlighter, and I don't think there's going to be a ton of a difference in the photos. I have worn away a little bit of the product on the side, but I am working my brush towards the outside and it is making the product a lot thinner. It's just not really showing in pictures. I'm using this quite regularly. I have it on my cheeks today and I love it. I have no problem going through this slowly. It's not something I'm in a rush to use up. It just is my oldest highlighter and I would like to probably work it out of my collection by the end of the year. And my very last product is a brow pomade from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's in the shade Taupe. I've had this forever and I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I am only focusing on one side. I believe that's your left side. No, it's your right side. Yes. So I'm slowly wearing away at that. I just used an angled liner brush to fill my brows. I'm wearing that in my brows today. And then I do fill in the tail end with a pencil, just a little bit darker, just to create a little bit more definition. And I think it looks really nice on my face shape. So I'm working on it consistently. I do think that I can have that finished by the end. I do have another 6 months to work on it. And something to keep in mind, if you do have more product in here and you're worried that the formula is starting to dry up, a little while ago I just used the back of a makeup brush and I just mixed it all together and it went to the same formula as whenever I first bought it. So you don't really have to add anything to it to make it soft and wet again. Sometimes just mixing it all together again brings the formula back and keeps it from being too dry. So just keep that in mind. When we look at the grand total, I have used up almost 51 grams worth of product. That number should be bigger than 51, but I don't know by how much because I wasn't able to weigh the progress or how much I've used up so far of the Body Shop Strawberry Mist. But that's still exciting. I really feel like I'm getting good use out of some of the oldest products in my collection, and I'm really hoping I can roll out the majority of them by the end of the project, except for the blushes. I don't imagine I'm going to use up any blushes by the end of the year. I hope you enjoyed my Project Pan update, but in the meantime, that's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!